It's fascinating because you have all of these metrics that aren't just company metrics. You have these social metrics. I mean, I bet you could probably go really deep on this. You could probably, maybe this is in your IP in your 12-week accelerator of the spouses come in week 2 and we have a chat with them, you know, or like.
Oh yeah, your spouse is your co-founder. And they need to really understand that, right. You know. And it can be incredibly powerful if they're on board, and it can be, I mean, we've seen founders, their relationships broken down in the accelerator. It's not because they're in the accelerator, but like that's because the accelerators, like we make it like a year's worth of stuff happen in 2-3 months. So we always say to founders, are you ready to join the accelerator? And if there's loose ends, they're going to unravel pretty quickly if you're in an accelerator. You don't get on with your founder, there's a founder tension, you're going to split up at the accelerator.
Right. Wow.
So it really brings things to a head. So yeah, and you're right, we are making this very much part of how we assess and support founders. Because it's different to like being a VC and doing Series A and B. That's spreadsheets. Yeah. If I put a bit more money here, you know, can acquire a bit more market share there. You can almost be an accountant and do that really, really well. And we're kind of like at the other end of the spectrum, and in Web3,
right?
With regulatory risk, technical risk, business model risk.
That's a fascinating place to be. What would you say to people that are interested in taking this journey with you, as far as what should they think about before they do it? How would they go about doing this and contacting you? And then also curious on just, you know, final thoughts.
Yeah. So as I said, we're not able to accept the large majority of people that apply to the accelerator, which is a shame to us. It's a shame to the founder. So we're actually developing something called Atlas. So we use this mountaineering analogy. Don't ask me why, it just happened. I'm not a mountaineer. So our accelerator is called Basecamp. We have a later stage one called Descent. And so we kind of just followed that nomenclature. Now it's Atlas, you know, you're starting your journey. Atlas turns some of the thinking that we do in program and workshops in program, it makes it publicly available content. And the idea is that founders can level up in certain areas. So we're getting a lot of people coming from big tech, or they're not necessarily Web3, and we spend a lot of time in a program like catching them up with just the culture, the language of Web3, you know, let alone the tech.
And the colored logos.
Yeah, you know.
Right. All this stuff you're not used to.
It just seems bizarre and alien if you're not from it. So it helps people like just get a sense for Web3, understand some of the core concepts, some of the kind of core decisioning, and hopefully allows them to know what they need to be ready to apply. Could be to another accelerator, by the way, you know, in the end. In order that when they enter the program, like day one, we're going 1,000 miles per hour and they're set up to do it. So that's on us, and we're going to be releasing more and more of our knowledge, almost to the point of open sourcing it. Like not quite everything, but like enough. Enough that if you had the time, you could probably not even have to apply to the accelerator. Like if you do apply to the accelerator, it's going to happen much quicker. And trust me, time is money, but it's also hair and, you know, everything else. So if you want the accelerated version of that, you know, like high octane, you join accelerator. But in theory, you could take your time over a year, 2 years, and just do that content. So that's a key thing that we're going to be doing. And so when people apply and they're not quite ready, we'll point them to specific content modules. We think you should go here. Maybe you should consider that. So that's going to be a huge investment of time and effort for us. How people apply, you just go to outlierventures.io/basecamp. You'll see all the different programs that we're running. Don't worry too much about that, to be honest. You just apply. The relevant teams will figure out how to kind of triage you in and say, okay, well, this could be a fit or that could be a fit, if it's non-obvious. And And then if you're accepted, we've got several investment committees where we bring in more and more competencies across the business. So you remember I said we run these kind of parallel programs. Each has its own investment committee process. And I think in totality, if you made it all the way to the end and got accepted, it would have had, that one startup would have had about 25 different eyes on it from across and opportunity to speak to those people as well. Before we kind of pull the trigger and people in a program, we're always recruiting. So even when we're running programs, we're recruiting for the next program. So even if a program looks like it's just closed or it's just started, just apply. It's never too early to apply. Worst that's going to happen is, as I said, we'll try and give you some feedback. You can go away and come back. And it's also never too late to apply. So I said, I've been primarily talking about early stage, pre-seed, seed, but we do have some late stage projects coming to us. So they are mature businesses all the way up to corporate enterprise. We've done a spin out from Boeing, a spin out from Daimler, that have come to us and said, look, we've developed this thing, this Web3 IP or business line. It kind of doesn't sit neatly within what we're doing. We don't really have the competency to scale it. Can you help us almost spin it out? So we've had teams that have raised 30, 40, 50 million. They've got millions of users, but they're transitioning from a Web 2 model to a Web 3 model. So they're a mature Web 2 business, but they're a Web 3 startup. And so we've even had teams like that. So there is no late. There's no too late either. So just apply. And, we've got some brilliant people at Outlier. I constantly learn. I constantly feel like an idiot most of the time. I'm really very much the show pony now. They kind of wheel me out to kind of just regurgitate stuff. But like the real brain power is, we've got some analysts, I don't even know what they're talking about half the time. I mean, they're just so hardcore niche into this particular thing. And I'm like, explain it to me. This is why I love doing the podcast, by the way. I don't know about you, but I get to ask stupid questions. Yeah. Like, and they're not my question. I'm like, they're my question, but I'm pretending I'm asking on behalf of the audience. So I also just, love interviewing Web3 founders that are excelling. Stanley, you mentioned, is a great one. Get into their brain, learn from them. But as a business, we've got, up to 100 people. If we don't know the answer, like we deeply understand the question and we'll help you get to the answer.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, it's Brian Rose, founder of the DeFi Academy. I've told you my 4-week crypto bootcamp is amazing, but don't take my word for it. This is what my students are saying.
The DeFi Academy was an amazing experience for me. It took me totally out of my comfort zone.
In this course, I was challenged, I was held accountable, and pushed to do things that honestly weren't always easy.
It's been phenomenal, and I can't believe we're already up on our 4 weeks. It has flown by.
Going through this DeFi Accelerator by far was one of the best courses I've taken.
You do this course, you really get into the nitty-gritty of the activities that will make you comfortable with decentralized finance.
Thank you so much to Brian and everyone at London Real and the DeFi Academy for even putting together an amazing course like this.
Anybody else that wants to do it, please sign up. It is well worth the money.